Hello, welcome. I'm Claudia if you're new here, and if you're back, thank you for coming back. Today I'm finally going to be answering your questions from the question prompt I posted over in the community tab. So this is going to be a Q&A while I pot up some more graduates from my grow rack. So plants that were either propagating, rehabs, or new plants that were in quarantine that are ready to be potted up and join Gen Pop. That's what we're going to be working on today. So I'll show you what all of those plants are while I answer your questions, hopefully in a timely manner. We are in the kitchen today just because I have more countertop space here. Also the sink is just more accessible for like any rinsing of roots or like things like that. So unfortunately we can't escape the like little humming sound because we are running the AC and it's quite noisy, and then also you'll probably hear the refrigerator from time to time. So I hope that you don't mind too much, but I'm excited to get these plants potted up. I'm excited to show you what they are. You haven't seen some of them, and yeah, let's get started. As I'm getting set up, I'm noticing that you can see the pothos right over here, and it looks like it hasn't been watered in ages. I promise you it was watered maybe 4 days ago, and then this morning I noticed it was so wilted again. It's just been so hot, and the kitchen in particular, I mean, there's a skylight right behind me, and then there's another one just like right over here, so it gets tons of light, and yeah, it's just been really warm. But again, I promise you she will be fine. All right, we're gonna start with a bang because I've been dying to show you this plant, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think I've shown you it here. I just showed it on Instagram today, and I think actually I had posted a little sneak peek of it, but it's none other than my Alocasia Venom. I got this, I'll insert a photo of what this looked like when I first got it, but I've had it for a little bit now, and I got it, it was just a single plant. It has now sprouted a baby, which is so exciting, and look at this newest leaf. I was kind of feeling self-conscious that I got it because I did. I got my Alocasia Regal Shields Elbow, my Nobilis Pink, and this one all pretty like close together in time, and I was just feeling self-conscious about how much money I had dropped in such a short amount of time on plants. But I'm really happy that I got her. I actually ended up getting her, I want to say, for just under $200, which was a great deal because it hasn't lost any of its original leaves, I don't think. So it had this leaf, and then actually it did. It lost, was it the newest leaf it was coming with? I'll insert a photo, but it lost one leaf like on arrival. And then it's given me this newest leaf, which is just, wow, chef's kiss. And then it sprouted a corm, which is so exciting. So I was really hesitant to get it because I was just, you know, it's one of those plants that's like super hyped up right now, really popular, really expensive, even though they have come down in price quite a bit. They're still very expensive. But I was also just worried that, like, do they all get silvery like this? Like, is it genetics? I just wasn't sure. I don't think there's enough information about it out there. And I was worried that getting a lesser priced specimen would mean that the quality or that the genetics were compromised. But I can tell you that this is a very reputable source. I'll make sure to link her down below. I found her in a Facebook group actually, but she sells a lot of really rare plants. And yeah, the price I thought was really good. So I transferred her out. I think she came in sphagnum moss. I added her to stratum, and she is more than ready to be transferred. And I'm gonna have to stop yapping so much about the plants and start answering your questions. So I have my computer right over here. I I'm just gonna read through them. I think I'm gonna be able to get through all of them, so I'm excited to be able to do that. The first question says, I have 6 different single node Alocasia cuttings rooting in stratum. 3 of them have new growth. When can I move them to pon? I actually got up and got a couple more supplies, but the transition to pon is fairly easy from stratum. However, if they are rooting, I would wait until you have enough roots on each of the cuttings before you transfer. Now, what enough means to different people are different things. Ideally, you have 2 to 4 inches of roots. I like to wait until there's a substantial root system, but it's up to you. You can also root directly in pon, so don't be discouraged to do that if you would rather just do that sooner rather than later. I just watered this, and yeah, this is going to be one of those things. So yeah, either wait until you have a good enough root system on each of the nodes, or feel free to transfer them and root them in pon if you would rather do it sooner. Next question. I have a bunch of Monstera esqueleto node cuttings and they're all growing in as runners. What am I doing wrong? So Monstera esqueleto, growing runners happens for one of two, well, for the most part, one of 2 things with Monstera esqueleto in particular, but in general, if you're getting runners, it's either missing light, so it wants more light, or it really needs something to climb. I was trying to figure out, it's a tiny little corm that just popped out of her. This is pretty good, but I'm gonna rinse the roots really quick just to get all of the stratum off. It has like 3 nice corms that I can see. Well, 2 are bigger, 1's smaller, plus the one that's sprouted. Actually, yeah, no, that's it. Can you see that? I'm kind of trying to decide if I think I want to keep them on the plant, and I think I might just separate. I don't know. No, I think I'm going to leave the baby. I think I'm going to enjoy this bushier plant S's for a little bit longer. I think that's what I want to do. Yeah, so Monstera, I'm using one of these pots. So Monstera esqueleto is growing runners for likely one of 2 reasons. Either it's not getting enough light, or it needs something to climb support. You don't necessarily have to have a moss pole, although if you do moss pole and keep it moist, that would help to help those aerial roots grab onto the moss so that it can more quickly so that it can upsize and grow more quickly. However, a coco coir pole or even a stake should do, or a plank. I've seen people do that in planks. So if it's not staked already, stake it and increase light if you can. Next, we're gonna do my Alocasia longiloba purple, and I don't think I'd shown you this one either. So this is not a baby from my mother plant. I basically panicked when my mother plant bloomed and the next leaf came in super stunted and just green and not nice. So when I saw them available, Jack's Jungle had them. I was like, please, please, please save one for me, because I'm terrified that my mother is not going to be the same after she bloomed. Fortunately, she is. And so this came in with these 2 original leaves. And then this is the first leaf it gave under my care, but it's its 3rd leaf. And you can see the upsize. And it actually is really deep purple, like eggplant. Now, I don't know if this is exactly like my mother plant or not, to be honest. Like, this may be a variation of the cultivar, or I don't know, maybe just some changes happened during tissue culture. I really can't tell you, but I feel like, This has like the texture is more bubbly on this one, and the color is also different. It's very, very dark, deep purple, but it's not magenta bright at the same time like my mother is. So, I mean, we can also just wait and see, right, what it continues to do, but I am really excited to have her because I was afraid for a minute I might lose her. So, and she's rooted in very nicely. Don't know how much you'll be able to see, but yeah, a leaf is kind of stuck in there, so we're not going to mess with it. We're going to let nature do its thing. And this was also watered not terribly long ago, but it's okay. Oh my gosh, she has 1, 2, 3 tiny little corms. Can you make those out? Like right here. And then down here. How crazy! She's so little. Yeah, so we're just gonna pot her up so that I can get her over in my cabinet in more optimal environment, and yeah, just start kind of appreciating her a little bit more. And then also it'll be interesting to see her next to my original Longiloba Purple and see how they differ. Okay, that was easy. I think I'm just gonna do one of these teeny ones because the root system's pretty small. Okay, next question. There are 8 questions within this question, so bear with me. I will try to get to them all. What are all of your wish list plants? Is the first part. That is hard. I don't know what all of my wish list plants. I could tell you some of them. I don't know that I don't know. I may even have to look at my list because I feel like I'm freezing up right now in the moment. I don't know what they are. I do know that I want an Alocasia Maharani elbow. I really would love one of those. I really would love an Anthurium Black Widow. Like, not a cross, just a Black Widow. There is another dot block Anthurium that is like very bright pink. I forget the name, but I would love that. An Anthurium King of Spades, a butterfly. There are a couple of Hoyas on my list that I really want. I don't know their names. I will add, I think I'll insert the list, but there are 2 Hoya that I can think of that I saw like just randomly scrolling on Instagram, and I was like, these are beautiful, and I did a quick search and they were like hundreds of dollars for like the teeniest cutting, which we're not gonna do this year. I would like a Hoya Jasminka, so it's the Polyneura outer variegated elbow that has also like the splashiness in the center. I really do still want a Begonia paulensis and a Begonia white ice. I have failed twice at trying to get both of those plants. This is what she's looking like. She's a cutie. I don't know, I'll insert what I can, or like I'll reference my list and I'll write them down on the screen. Are there any wish list plants that you got and regret getting, either because they are really hard or you not liking them that much at all? For sure. So I've talked about this one before, but Hoya Mathilde Inner Variegated. Yeah, I think she's inner or outer, I don't know. Hoya Mathilde Variegated. I paid so much money for that plant and I resent myself for getting it every day. I have tried to offer it up for sale and no one really wants it. I actually think I resigned myself to, I'm gonna just do a giveaway with it because I can't enjoy the plants. Like, it's nice. I feel like on principle I can't like it because it was so expensive and it's so itty bitty. So Hoya Inner Variegated is one for sure that I think about constantly. And then I have to be honest and say that as of recent, I've been thinking about, oh, this is gonna sound really bad, don't judge me. My Alocasia Nobilis Pink. And I guess I don't like regret buying it, but I'm more like, geesh, I didn't have to have this plant. And it's not because it's not beautiful. It's gorgeous. I love it. It's so, so stunning, but it was so expensive and it's kind of a big diva. So I feel like, I don't know, I'm still really early stages with it. I have one leaf. It's only given me one leaf since I got it. But yeah, I guess I'm feeling like I'm not getting as much back as I put in. So those are the two recent ones that I can think of right now. What does your boyfriend or husband think of all your plants? He's super, super supportive. Yeah, I mean, he's very, very supportive. He's always been that way with anything that I get into. He helps, like, encourages my obsession with plants and helps, you know, whenever I need the help, whether it's like, I'm like, can you please hang that grow light, or I want to install the shelf or whatever. He's very, very supportive. Okay, I'll show you. This is the Anthurium Fairchild that I unboxed with you from NSC Tropicals. It's given me this new leaf and I'm so, so excited about it. So yeah, and I can see healthy new roots growing, so she's ready. Any future plans for your plant room? Well, I just did the whole like kind of facelift makeover of it very recently, so I don't have anything huge planned for now. I do want to make some tweaks. Like I mentioned, I want to change the console to something that's just more efficient for my space, that like can better hold and house plants, as well as maybe like, you know, a bin with like additional desk stuff that don't fit on my desk. So I've been looking and sourcing for something like that. I do want to change my desk chair to something that's not so bulky. My desk chair is really bulky and it comes out quite a bit, and it's not like super comfortable either, so it's not like, I don't know, there's no reason to like keep holding on to it per se. But otherwise, I think that is it for now. I'm excited to continue styling the shelves above my Mills Bow Wide cabinet, and yeah, just enjoying the space for now. How do you import plants? So I've done this a couple of times. I'm looking at the pots I have available and what I want to put this in. I think I might do one of these little ones for now. I would prefer that it was clear inner pot, but that's okay. It'll work. How do you import plants? So it really depends on who you choose to buy them from, or like who's gonna, you know, who you're importing with. But the easiest that I have found, and it's also reliable and, you know, they guarantee the plants and all of that, is Kartel Dan. So they have US, well, not only US, like all over the world. They have them in Asia, Europe, etc. And you buy the plants from them, but then, and they all have them in Thailand or whatever, and then they ship to your local distribution center. And then, so for you, they only ship from your local distribution center. So you don't have to worry about import permits or, you know, dealing with like customs or anything like that. I've imported before where like they come directly from Thailand and they did get stuck at customs for, it's not agricultural check, whatever, for like a whole week. And fortunately, most of the plants made it okay, but yeah, it's definitely Actually, I don't think they did. I think some of them like arrived rotted. But the point is, importing with someone that has local distribution is just safer and more reliable, and that's what I would recommend that you do. And then it just becomes super, super simple. Okay, this guy looks cute in here. Yeah, I'm happy with him. I can't wait to get those big leaves on this. What are your thoughts on having more than one plant in one pot? I think as long as they require the same care, like the same light and the same watering, most importantly, then you're fine if you like the look. I personally don't think I love the look of in one pot to have multiple plants, but maybe I would, like outside I don't mind that, but inside I would rather have them separate. I have a Monstera at Adansonii that is just beautiful, but it's growing so much. What can I do to keep the big leaves but a bushy pot? So you can propagate, like all the top cuttings, propagate those and make sure that they have stakes or, you know, some sort of support as they continue to grow. The first leaf after the chop might not be quite as big, but it'll still, as long as it has support, it'll continue to upsize, and then add those cuttings back into the pot so that it's bushy and large. And yeah, that's what I would do. Next, we are doing this Legend by Carla Blacquier. So this is the Zara Michelle by Carla, and I opened this with you, pretty sure. So he's nice. I don't think I've gotten a new leaf yet, but I can see some roots and it should be fine and ready to be moved. And if not, then we'll just pop it back in here, I guess. Next question. She said, P.S. I love your videos and your dogs. Thank you so much. Hi Claudia, new follower here. I binge watched your channel. How's your Alocasia longiloba purple doing? I just bought one baby starter, but hopefully I get as big as yours as you did it. I would love to buy a corm from you too. Alocasia watsoniana velvet. Beautiful. Love your videos and your dogs. Thank you so much and welcome. So my original longiloba purple is doing great. I'll insert some footage so that you can see. Fortunately, I'm so happy to see that she bounced back after the bloom. She looked so bad. I was really scared. Okay, yeah, these roots look good. And I don't usually, or actually I don't think I've ever sold corms. I did do a corm trade recently that I filmed what I got for the corm, but I don't feel comfortable selling corms because especially, yeah, I just don't feel comfortable selling corms. What if they don't sprout, or, and you know, it can happen, like we could both do everything right and like they just don't sprout, or I don't know. I just feel like I don't feel ethically right selling corms, so I'd rather wait until they sprout. But if I ever do have plants available, I do let you know here on YouTube and on Instagram, and I usually just either post them on the stories, or this last time I had an excess of them, I did host a live sale over on Palm Street, but yeah, I don't have any right now. So now I have to think about where I want to put this guy. I don't know that I want him in another one of these little pots. Yeah, I think it'll be fine for now. What I found with these little pots, I do really like them. I think that they're such a cute size, and I love that they have the water gauge. But what I found was that they were still getting the algae underneath, even though the cache pot is all solid. So that was annoying to me. But they are cute. Tell us more about yourself, your plant journey, but also your life journey. How did you fall into plants? How do you balance work life, plants, and a YouTube channel? How does your husband love it? I am lucky that my partner is a plant lover as I am, but how does everyone else balance it all? Thank you so much for your question and for your interest. I don't know how much I feel like it's always hard for me to talk about me or like my journey. The plant journey is easy. I came into plants because, well, it's twofold a little bit. My mom was always she has the most intuitive green thumb ever. She can grow anything outside or inside, and she doesn't have she's never researched any kind of anything in regards to plants. She's just very intuitively knows, like, this plant wants more water, this plant likes to dry out. And growing up, there was always a ton of plants in the house. When we had outdoor spaces, we had a garden. I think it's also, I guess, maybe important to say that her grandfather was a farmer, so they always grew and harvested food and things. So yeah, maybe that's why it's like second nature to her. Of course, growing up, I had zero interest in plants. I wanted nothing to do with them. And I always joked like, oh, I can't keep anything alive. And then for a birthday, one of my friends gave me the most beautiful orchid. It had like really beautiful white flowers, and I was able to keep that alive for like 2 years. During that time, I was just getting really burnt out at my like 9 to 5, my corporate job. And for whatever reason, I was at Trader Joe's and I got a tiny snake plant. That thing is still alive today. I think 2017, maybe 2018, I don't know. And then kind of shortly after, I started dabbling into I don't know, I just wanted to make my space more of a home. I was starting to really prioritize like my personal life and like my home life. So I wanted to, yeah, just really make my space more of a sanctuary. So I did a ton of research and I got a peace lily from Armstrong Garden. I overpaid for that thing insane amounts. Again, that one is still alive and well today. And it just brought me so much joy to be able to care for that plant and grow it. And the peace lily bloomed, and like it bloomed year round. It held on to blooms for a really long time. And then my mom started sharing all of her most of her plants with me, if not all. And then, you know, shortly after, when like 2020 came and we were stuck at home for a long time, then it really snowballed a lot more from there. But before then, I had a pretty nice collection going. I got my first fiddly fig, I think, like 6 months after my first plant, and it was a gift. And that plant just taught me everything so much. But yeah, it was so rewarding and so grounding, the hobby, that I was like, I want more. So that's how I got into plants. We're moving on to the Kartel Dan Anthuriums, and I had shown you these. Where is this tag? Yikes, I may have not kept this tag. I had shown you these, and like they're not doing that well, so I placed them in stratum. I see a ton of roots. Some of the leaves don't look great, but I think that they were holding onto too much moisture in there. But the roots all look really healthy, so I want to move them out of there and pot them up into a more permanent situation. I don't know what this one is. If I can find the tag, I will let you know. Oh, I was supposed to tell you about my life journey. This is really hard for me to talk about things like that. Hard just because I don't know. I feel like I don't know what's relevant, and then I might ramble. But I guess I'll briefly say that I thought success was measured by like the big corporate job and the promotion, and I did that for many, many years. Like out of college, I got a corporate job and I worked in fashion for a very, very long time. I was pretty high up in the ladder at the last company that I was in. I was definitely suffering from burnout and like becoming a little bit resentful of like, I mean, I was living to escape, like literally. I had a good job, a good salary. I loved the people that I worked with, but I had no personal life and no energy for it. Eventually, or like around, I think it was 2019, the office, it was an international company and the US office was closing. So I just took it as a sign to take some time to like regroup and think about what I might want to do next. And then obviously we know that COVID happened. So that just transferred into a lot longer time. And that's when I kind of started working from home and doing like marketing services, like social media and marketing for clients. And that is still what I do now, although on a much smaller level than I was doing even 3 months ago. But I work from home and have since 2020. And we also, my husband and I, have a dog training business. So we board and train dogs. And that's why I'm able to do YouTube and social media, because honestly, I don't know how I would do it if I had like a real 9-to-5 and I wasn't working for myself. There's no way. Like when, I don't know how people that do have a 9-to-5 and a YouTube channel, like how do they do it? I'm thinking I'm gonna put this in one of these since it's a little larger. Other than that, something I really like to claim all the time is that I was an aerial arts instructor. So towards the tail end of my corporate career, I got into aerial arts, and I have kind of an addictive personality, right? Like if I'm into something, I go in all the way. So I was doing aerial arts a lot. I eventually became an aerial arts instructor and I loved it. It's the most fun I've ever had, or like as an adult. Like it's just, I don't know, it was such a big accomplishment that, or like I just felt really proud that I was able to do something like that with no prior training or knowledge or anything of the sort. Yeah, married. We have 3 dogs of our own, Hunter, Bear, and Blue. Bear is 12, Hunter is 8, and Blue is like between 2 and 3, and she's our most recent rescue. Yeah, I don't know what else I can say about that. And I touched on this already briefly, but my husband is very supportive. I wouldn't say that like he loves plants personally himself, but he's very supportive, and he does like, he'll point out, especially like in the kitchen or the living room, he'll say like, do you want me to water this plant? So I typically don't like anyone watering my plants, but I have like a few caletheia here in the kitchen that I'm like, okay, yeah, you can fill the reservoir for those. But yeah, he's great. I really hope that I find the tag for this because I have no idea what it is, but this is what this guy looks like. This is the next Kartel Dan, and this is a barong, that's what this is. The next question, what do you do for Alocasia dormancy? I don't do anything. I let them, if they're not growing, I kind of just let it be. Usually if they are dormant, then they require less watering, but I mean, I don't water on any kind of schedule, so I rely on like the plant to give me cues, or if they're in self-watering, I'll look at the reservoir sort of thing. So I just let them be. If I was trying to sort of wake it up, I might increase light or up the nutrient dosage, but I always have just allowed it to do its thing, and then when it's ready, hopefully they do come back eventually. But yeah, that's what I do. What do you recommend for pest control? Also, what's in your nutrient water? Do you adjust the pH? I do not adjust the pH at all. I guess if I was having like a reoccurring issue with a plant where I had tried everything and it was still just really unhappy, I might consider trying the pH, but since overall all of my plants do pretty well, I assume that my pH is stable or like, you know, good for them. So that's not something that I do, and honestly not something that I'm super interested in getting into. It's just like another thing. I'll insert what's in my nutrient-rich cocktail here, and I always link it down in my description below in case you're interested. But basically, I do silica first, wait about 15 to 20 minutes, and then I add Foliage Pro, and then I add the Bug Hut biologicals that are just like enhancers and like better help the plant and roots take up the fertilizer and use up the nutrients. And then I'll do the fungus gnat unaliving drops. And I know that you can do like fungus gnat, like the dunks or, you know, any version of that, and that's fine. I just find the drops to be easiest, and when I'm already doing so much, that's just what works for me. Oh, and for pest control, I do a DIY pest repellent. That is what I'm spraying my plants almost every watering during the season. Honestly, I was being hopeful and saying like, oh, maybe like once a month I'll do it or something, but at this point with, I don't know, just being like pest season, I'm doing it almost every watering. And if I do have pests, it's usually spider mites. It just depends on what plant has them and how much of an infestation it is. If it's a huge infestation like I had it, or like reoccurring in my Millsbo wide cabinet, then Azamax is amazing, and it's a miticide, insecticide, and a something else, but it works on disturbing the life cycle of the bugs, and I have found it to be very, very effective. So I would highly recommend to have Azamax on hand for when you need, but otherwise Perfect Plantista is amazing. It works on contact. You just need to be like really consistent and thorough, and with any pest treatment, honestly. If you could start your plant collection over, money is no object, what would your 2 top plant species be? Like Hoya succulents, etc., and why? Absolutely Monstera, like without a doubt. Monstera deliciosa in most of its forms. I say most because Oria and I have a love-hate situation happening. This is the Sky Anthurium Barone. I'll add the tag back in. Monstera for sure, and then I think that the second one would be Alocasia. Like there's just, as much as I feel like I tried to fight it for a long time and not loving Alocasias as much, or like I didn't even buy Alocasias for a very long time, Alocasias are beautiful, and there's so much to choose from in all price points that, yeah, I think it would be those 2. This one doesn't look so good, but I promise the roots look really healthy. So again, I think we just need to get it out of there. And this is a Viper, which I forget what the cross is, but I looked it up and it looks really cool. I'd like to know what you do for a living. Thank you. I touched on this briefly. So I do marketing and social media services for some clients, and then we have a dog training business. I adore your channel. Thank you so much. My question is not plant related, but please tell us what hair products you use. Your hair is so shiny and gorgeous, and I always want to see your Regal Shield's Albo. How is she doing? Where do you keep her? And do you have any corms yet? Okay, the Regal Shield's Albo, I'll answer first. I just did a video. I hope that you watched it. If not, I will link it. But I repotted her. She did have corms, and 2 2 of them are being set up, and then I traded the 3rd one for some other plants. So I will link that video. She's doing good, and I feel like she's a very vigorous grower. And as far as hair products, thank you so much. I feel really lucky with my hair. I will say hair texture, even though like I could never leave it in its like just natural state because it's very, very frizzy, but it's also very tameable. Like I really only wash my hair once or twice a week. I only style it once, like whenever I wash it, and then it just kind of holds until I wash it again. So I feel very lucky in that regard. I will, for the most part, I use, I'll do a clarifying shampoo like once a month-ish, usually the Way clarifying shampoo. And then I recently, I mean, I was happy with the shampoo I was using before, but I recently, my niece started working at Cosmoprof, so all about beauty stuff and whatever, and she recommended this one shampoo and conditioner, and it's like, I really love it. It takes like all the frizz out of my hair. It's so shiny. So I'll add it on the screen so you can see what it is. But thank you, that's very nice. I feel so silly adding this Anthurium that clearly has 2 very sickly looking leaves into this pot, but the roots are vigorous. Look at these roots. I love your channel, thank you. It's so upbeat, positive, and full of information. I know you used primarily pon, and I think you use lechuza and Calyrox pon, but do you also make your own? I see a lot about chunky pon, and I'm curious if you made a chunky version. Thank you so much for your content. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. It really just like, I don't know, it really keeps me going to know that you enjoy it and that you like watching it, and thank you to know that I could be uplifting in any way, or like, I don't know. Thank you so much for that. So I have made my own pon before, and it's probably like the consistency of Calyrox pon, like that kind of chunkiness, so not chunkier than that. You can get like the ingredients that I've gotten to make mine mix, you can get them like bigger to be even more chunky. I already kind of feel like, Calyrox pon is, I don't think I need to go any chunkier than that. Although I guess maybe if it was like a huge, like eventually when I have to repot my Monstera elbow that I have in pon into, I don't know, something like an 8 or a 9-inch pot, maybe it would be beneficial to have even a chunkier version, but I haven't tried that, and especially those roots are so chunky. So no, I haven't tried chunkier than Calyrox pon. I have made my own, but I will say about making my own, it's probably just as, if not more expensive than buying Calyrox pon. So there's not a ton of benefit, I think, in me making it myself, unless I was very specific about the consistency of it. I'm gonna need to get more water, and I'm debating whether I should just remove this one too. But this is the newest leaf, and it looks okay. The roots look really nice though, so it's promising. Although, oh, here we go. The tag. This is a Viper. I don't know if I'll ever, maybe once they're bigger and I can see more clear characteristics, I'll know like, oh yeah, that's the Viper. But otherwise, like, I don't know if I'll ever really know. They're so similar. I think I only pulled like 10 pots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 pots. And there's definitely more than 11 plants that could use repotting. But I have 1, 2, 3, 4 left. So that's what we're gonna do. This is an Alocasia Ninja elbow, and it's one of the babies from my mother plant. My mother plant struggled after it bloomed. I don't know what happened. Or the spider mite treatment. I don't know, but it's trying to regrow right now. And this corm, I had actually placed it for sale over on the Palm Street sale I had, and someone bid it and bought it, and I only had 2 available, and people really wanted it. And then the next day, the person was like, oh, my son bought it by mistake. Can you please refund? Which, you know, I was bummed at the time, but now I'm glad that I have it because the mother is having issues. Here's another question, it has a couple parts to it. What are your favorite plant stores to purchase from online? Also, thank you for introducing me to Jack's Jungle. They're amazing. Well, Jack's Jungle is probably my favorite place to purchase online from, mainly on Palm Street, but I've also done like, I'll message them privately and I'll say this is what I'm looking for, and they'll send me, you know, they'll send me what they have or what have you. Jack's Jungle is definitely a very high one up there. I also like, I've bought a couple plants from the Rare Plant Fairy, and she has, I mean, they just have like really beautiful plants, but I feel like you really need to wait for them to offer a good deal on their plants because they can be very expensive. I like to browse Etsy, but I'm a little hesitant, I have to be honest. Like, I really wait and make sure that, I don't know, I'm really willing to take the risk on Etsy. But a couple of other online plant sellers are Plants Choto. I love his plants. He has beautiful Anthurium, Alocasia, I mean everything. Plants Choto is great. I don't know why I'm freezing up on where I buy plants from. Anthuriums, the leafy plant shop, I've bought only 2 plants from them, but I've been really, really happy with them. So check them out. They do sales on Instagram and over on Palm Street. Where else do I buy plants? Most of my plants online, if I haven't said this already, are like something that I found on Palm Street. My favorite sellers on Palm Street, for sure, Jack's Jungle, Plants Choto, Succulents Empire. I also like to shop BWH. They have some pretty cool plant drops every now and then. Yeah, I don't know why I can't think of anyone else. Okay, so here is this cutie. She's little, but she's cute. I think we're only gonna do 2 more. Well, these 2 and 1 more, but these are going together. And this is Watsoniana Velvet, I'm pretty sure. So I don't know if this is a top cut or a corm, but this was the bottom cut. And it looks like it only activated 1 growth point. There's a new leaf coming, which technically I should wait, but I'm not gonna. It has a lot of roots. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. There's only 2 more questions left, so yay. As your collection has grown, what challenges have you faced and what can you share with us to avoid these obstacles? As my collection has grown is that okay, so I guess for me, when I first got into plants, I was very like, I want plants to like style my home only sort of thing. Or like I want to style my home with plants. And of course I still do. But then I also quickly realized I love large plants. And what is this? Oh, it's just root. There's, you know, your space only has so much room for large plants. Oh my gosh, it's actually a corm, the stump, and the little one. That's okay. We're just gonna pot them all up together. Yeah, your space only has so much space for very large plants, so choose wisely. Like at first, I really wanted all of the big ficus. I still love ficus. I used to say that ficus was my favorite genus, and not that I disagree with that statement per se, but I can only have so many big ficus, right? Like there's only so many corners in the house and so many south-facing windows that it's going to tolerate. So yeah, it was that was a thing for me. And then also I think a big one that not a lot of people talk about is jumping to buy another plant just because it's like hot right now and you get really excited and you get it, and then maybe you didn't think about where it was going to be placed and what kind of conditions that plant needs and all of that. So I think pausing before you buy is like a lesson I like had to learn. And then finally, you're gonna get pests one day or another. It doesn't matter how good you are at pest prevention and all of that. One day or another, you are going to get pests, unfortunately. And it's just a matter about, like, it's okay. It's gonna happen. So instead, like, what are we doing to fix it quickly, to address it quickly and get rid of them, versus like, oh my gosh, this can't be happening, and then it's like a bigger problem. So I think those are the things. I hope that I answered your question the way you expect, or like, I hope I answered it thoroughly. It's hard to hold all three. Okay, let's see. Let's try this. I guess to piggyback off of that just a little bit is also feeling obligation of, and maybe this is just me, but I feel, or I have found myself in the pattern of feeling obligated to keep a plant even though I'm not loving it or enjoying it. And just allowing yourself, giving yourself the okay of like, it's okay to move on from plants from time to time that I'm no longer enjoying caring for. It doesn't mean you have to throw it away. You can throw it in the compost if you want, certainly, but you can also just rehome it, offer it up for free. Even like if you have a local plant shop, ask any of the people that work there if they might be interested in that plant. For me, like my mom loves my friend loves plants, and at this point now I have a lot more than she does, so I can give a lot to her, or like my sister or whatever. So yeah, really allowing yourself I don't have to hold on to all of them, and that's cool. The last plant we're gonna do is my Hoya Polyneura Inner Variegated. I shared with you I found what I thought were root mealies, so I chopped it all up, got rid of even the pot that it was in, and I rerooted it, and it looks like it's ready to be potted up. So this one is going to go into pond. It was in pond already. It's one of the ones that I found was just too thirsty for me to keep up with. And I believe also have the last question. Outside of plants, what are some of your passions or hobbies? Your Amazon storefront link shared under your videos, not your bio, needs to be updated as it's broken. Oh, okay, I'll fix that. Thank you so much for letting me know. Some of my hobbies outside of plants. I really enjoy outdoor time. So like outdoor in like a hiking or picnic, or like walk at the beach and watching sunsets kind of way, not in like a mountain climber or like tent camping. That's that's not for me. So I really enjoy outdoor time like that. I really love spending time on the water whenever I can, as much as I can, whether it's me physically in the water, like swimming, snorkeling, well, swimming because it's not like I'm a great swimmer, but either physically in the water or on a boat if I can. Like we have Duffy's here that we can rent, and I love doing that. If I didn't say it already, watching sunsets, I like to say that's one of my hobbies. Literally, I feel like if we have a nice, well, if we're not home, if we're like somewhere with a view, but even at home, if like a nice sunset's happening, everything stops and it's like sunset time. I don't do aerial anymore, or I haven't in a long time, but I still consider that one of my passions and something that I would really love to get back into. I also just really enjoy creating and like DIY projects. I don't know, I can't even like give an example right now, but just like, I don't know, DIY stuff. I love doing that. I love, you know, some people love scrapbooking. I love making photo albums or photo books. That was so nice. I was able to get them all off without having to rinse. This still has a few. I'm gonna use one of these pots for that. I really love and enjoy travel, and obviously like traveling itself is very nice, but one of the things that I enjoy is like just seeing how other people live, like traveling to Europe or Mexico or I don't know, or even Hawaii, like just to, I don't know, see how other people live and like different customs and things like that. I really love that. Yeah, I don't know, I think that's it. This whole time I was so good, and now I'm making a giant mess. I blame the plant, it's not me. It's probably good. I don't know if I'm gonna move this over to my plant space quite right away, but at least she's potted up and she can continue to grow. She really is so beautiful. We got through 10 plants and all of your questions. Thank you so much for submitting those in. I'm gonna give you another look really quickly at everything that we accomplished today. Thank you for choosing to spend your time with me. I appreciate you so much. I truly love sharing plant stuff with you and plant care, and I love that on YouTube I can just be a lot more like just raw and like very like behind the scenes and like this is what's happening. And thank you so much for being along for the ride with me. If you have any video suggestions or requests that you would like to see, whether it's a particular plant or like a theme in general, please drop them down below. I love if I can provide that content that you're looking for and maybe missing. Like always, I'll link anything I use down below or anything that I can think of. But if you have any questions or you want to just chat, let's chat down in the comments, and I will see you very soon. Bye.